Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I think I'm audible perfectly. Yes or no?
Yes, very good.
Okay. So I come from India. My name is Vipulansh Sharma. It's quite a typical Indian name. But I would like to start with one question. And that question is, do you know what was the GDP growth rate of India in the Q1 of this year? Anybody has any random idea? It was 13.5%. 13.5% in the Q1 of this year. And even we Indians, when we heard about it, we got amazed. I mean, this is like many things are happening in the world in different parts, and India is growing at 13.5%. That's incredible. And when we got to know that most of the foreign companies who are in India, they are also doing a good business in such turbulent times, because demand is something which never ever finishes or completes in India. It's always there because we have got so many people. Now the point is, I'm not going to talk about the numbers or the facts. I'm going to talk about what those numbers and facts mean for you as a foreign business. What they translates into for you as a foreign business. So my topic is achieving business success in India, and this is quite relevant and important because almost all the foreign companies we talk to, their question is, India is a big market. It's quite complex. And we think there's a huge demand, but how can we sell? So the first question comes in is to determine the addressable size market for you. Not everyone is your customer in India. Who is your customer? That's a question you have to get an answer to get started, even with thinking about India. I know that some of the companies who are here, they're already doing business in India. They're doing pretty well. And some are those who had done business in India, then they ramped up for some reasons. And yes, many would like to start doing business in India. And I hope I'm not too fast. Am I too fast, or it is understandable? Okay, fine. So this is about Maier Vidorno. Maier Vidorno is a German consulting firm who was established like 2 decades ago in India by a German who had lived in India for over 2 decades. So he's like half German and half Indian, and we are 200 people in India and 600 globally. And what we have done so far are those numbers. We have helped almost 1,500 international companies who had India in their mind. We have helped them in some way or the other. We did market assessment. We did strategy making. We helped them set up a subsidiary. We also helped them expand in India and nearby countries. And these figures actually also tells one thing, that if you get the right idea or you get the right strategy to sell in India, it doesn't matter whether you are a big company like Volkswagen or BMW or Audi, but you can also sell if you get the right idea, the right strategy. And to get that actually sometimes take time of like 4 or 5 years or maybe more. Moving to the next, these are the services which we provide. We strategize, we expand, we set up, and then we help companies invest further in their growth. And now this is the main topic, which is understanding how to achieve business success in India. So I'm going to take a reference of auto component industry. So I will say my timer is not on. Then if I cross 10 minutes, please don't tell me. So I will take example of auto component industry, and this industry has something, by the way, this is the only slide which has some facts. So in 2009, it was just $24 billion in terms of turnover. And then as per the latest data, it has become $56.5 billion in terms of turnover. Now I'm talking only about the auto component industry, right? Because that's where a lot of SMEs, global SMEs, would like to get into, would like to try their luck or venture out. And this is something which is quite significant in terms of what we think, what government thinks in India. This target comes from the automotive mission plan. Put it simply, this is basically the expectation of the government. And every 5-year or 10-year, they create these kind of plans. Now, the most important thing is a lot of industrialists, a lot of businesses, especially Indians, and people who are office bearers of chambers of commerce in India, especially which are related to automotive, even they are quite optimistic with this target. Why? Because in the last 1 year or 2 year, India has witnessed a growth which is over 15% in automotive component industry. So they think that although it will not be achievable, but industry as a whole will get closer to this. So now this figure is not your market size in India. If you want to start selling in India or you are already selling in India, you would know this, that your addressable market could be maybe 10% of this, 20% of this, or maybe 50% of this. It depends on your product, it depends upon your solution, right? And that's a question which will set the stage for the next one. Now, where is this growth happening? Which are the areas? As I said that not everyone is your customer in India. In the same way, not every area is a potential area to set up your factory, set up your operations, or even sell. These few states which we have highlighted, and you would also see some very big names, even from Germany, who have been doing very good business in India for quite many years. Some are from France, some are from America, some are from Switzerland and Sweden. And you will notice that almost the Western India and the Southern India is the area where most of the industrial activities are happening, especially in case of automotive industry. The reason being is, southern states like Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, they house cities like Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, right? And these cities are very advanced in technology, and they are very, adaptive as far as foreign technology or foreign businesses are concerned. And Bangalore, by the way, is also called Silicon Valley of India because a lot of IT industries are there. And then Mumbai, and when you go upwards to our other states, you would only see Delhi NCR. And Delhi NCR is a small region which has like few cities from nearby states which are also growing. So these are the areas where these companies have actually established and have been selling. Now, who owns the Indian automotive component industry? Now, this is a very interesting picture. What this picture is telling you? This picture is telling you that the majority of India's automotive component industry's success has been dependent on this one fact, that Indian companies partnered with foreign companies for design, for technology, for know-how, and based on that, they ramped up their productions. And this has been true even with the big firms. Many of you must be knowing about Maruti Suzuki. It is the #1 passenger car selling brand in India. They also did joint venture with Suzuki. You might be aware of Hero Honda. Hero is two-wheeler motorcycle selling company in India who did joint venture with Honda some time back, and then they got separated. So the success of India's automotive component industry is this. And if you look at the market revenue, you would see that foreign companies who tried to venture out on their own, they also found very good success. Why? Because they had the technology, they just needed a small manufacturing partner, or they set up their own company, and their product actually sold very quickly. Indian companies lack in terms of technology. They lack in terms of design. And I can tell you from my personal experience, while growing up in India, I heard a lot about German technology, German quality. I grew up hearing about BMW, Audi, Volkswagen. Most of these cars are luxury cars in India, high-end cars. None of their single model, except Volkswagen's few models, sell in the economy range. They're all luxury cars in India. And why? What is the reason? The reason is the technology they offer, the comfort they offer, the quality of product they offer, and overall the cost of ownership these cars offer is pretty good for those people who can afford that in India. And Maruti built its fortune by selling economic car, right? It's like approximately the car comes in for like 7,000, 8,000 euros. It starts from there, and then it goes higher and higher, but never reaches to that luxury segment. And that's a very important message that if you want to sell to India, you can start on your own, like foreign companies who own 21% share in the revenue of automotive component industry. Or you can do a JV. But you don't have to worry about the Indian companies. They don't compete with you. Right now, there are very few companies who are bringing up very exciting products. I'm not saying that every Indian company doesn't, no Indian company has anything phenomenal. Yes, they do have, especially when it is about software, about digital technology, which goes into the car, its electronic system. There are some companies who are coming up very quickly, and yeah, they have, they are kind of unicorns who are coming in this area. So, moving to the last. So, how this market has grown? I just told you that a strategic partnership, which is JVs or manufacturing partner in most of the cases, and the localization of production. That was very important. And, all the companies I've spoken to, foreign companies in my career, I always get to hear this, that we are, a European company, we anyway have a high-end technology, and if we start selling a product, by the time it will reach to India, it will be out of the competition because of the freight and the duties. Now, the solution for this is, of course, production and localization. And automotive companies, because they had this capital-intensive products, they had to localize, and they did, and they succeeded. And the third one is, there are certain areas in which Indian industry always had a strength. And that was like, suspension parts, axles, forging and casting products, which are basically, big, heavy raw materials, not the fine technology items. And many companies who design their value chains based on the strength of local companies, they actually increase their margins. They actually increase their profits. And you look at this picture. Now, can somebody tell me that what this picture is showing? Now, this picture shows that India is growing in every direction, right? Not in terms of GDP, but also in other terms. I don't know the name. Yeah, but this picture also shows one important thing, and that is demand. There's a huge demand for vehicles, whether it is passenger cars or heavy vehicles or two-wheelers, three-wheelers. And by the way, you study any electric vehicle study which is based on India, you would be surprised that the market for two-wheeler and three-wheeler in EV segment is even bigger than passenger cars and heavy commercial vehicles. There are a lot of auto rickshaws, two-wheeler motorbikes, and three-wheeler auto rickshaws. We call them auto in India. And they are huge in number. They are huge. And they are the ones who, before anybody else, they got transferred from petrol to CNG, diesel to CNG. So government always has them in their focus, and that particular segment will grow even quicker than passenger cars and commercial vehicles. And this is the customer base you can see for those kind of vehicles when they talk about public transportation within a city or intercity. So that's very important. Now, how can you do? So I have already talked about all these points, that what you should do is you have to know your market. What is your addressable market size? And this is an exercise I want to tell you is quite complex when it comes to India. It's not easy. Somebody can tell you, okay, market is 50 billion worth of dollars. That's not your market. And if you try to calculate that number, that who's your end customer, how many of them are there, where they are buying from, what they are doing after buying from me, how much margin they are making, you will end up having so many questions. And we do that exercise. We get you the right number, we get you the right insights so that you can understand, okay, fine, this is my opportunity, and this is the path to grab that opportunity. And of course, then comes the operational stuff. So how you structure your company, how you structure your sales, what kind of MOU you sign with a partner in India, the subtleties and the subtleties of the modalities of your agreement will also have some impact on your success in the market, especially in the short term. Because in the long term, you can always adjust with the market, but in the short term, they do have a great impact. And then, of course, administration and bureaucracy, which is something every foreign company is scared of when we think about India. Oh, if I need to get a registration or a license, it's going to take me years or ages. So why should I invest? My money is lying over there. My assets are getting, depreciated there. So that doesn't make sense. And we tell them that you leave them to professionals. They do it in their own way, but they do it, right? If they hadn't been doing it, India wouldn't have been growing. And we are growing. And I want to end my this presentation with one very interesting fact, and that is about technology. So in India, if I want to transfer some money to somebody, I just need his mobile number. Nothing. Even if I do not know that person, even if I do not have his account number, even if I do not have his details, if I want to send some money to a person, I just need his mobile number. This is called UPI, Unified Payment Interface. And this is developed by Indian IT companies with support of the government. And when it came, nobody thought that India will have so many digital transactions. Everyone thought that how will people do? I mean, they cannot use their mobile and the language has to be Hindi or some local language, then they will do blah, 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 and then maybe if the money goes to the wrong person, they will be like scared. But then you look at the number of digital transactions. This graph is going like this, exponential growth. Maybe you can put e to the power 5 or 10. It's an exponential growth. That tells that average Indian customer, average Indian civilian, is well versed of two things. One is technology. They know how to use the phone very well, quite well. And second, their exposure to English language. And that's also an advantage for every global company who's looking to venture into India. And for this reason, you will see a lot of American firms, British firms, Australian firms, Singapore firms. They are also very successful in India because of the same reason. Thank you very much. I hope you like this presentation. Thank you.